And he goes, you know where you are? You in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. That's a true story. That ain't no lie. So welcome to the jungle, Rick. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. I've been waiting all the day. We got the people that can find whatever you may need. If you want the money, honey, we got your disease in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Watch us bring it to you. I wanna watch you bleed. To the jungle. Take it day by day. If you want to choke, you're gonna bleed. In the bride to bay. There was a very sexy girl. Very hard to believe. You can take the bright line. Won't be there for free. In the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Feel my serpentine. I wanna watch you scream. Welcome to the jungle. It's worse here every day. You learn to live the jungle where it's play. You gotta hold up what you see. Take it eventually. You can have anything you want, but you better not take it from me. The jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Watch it bring it down. I wanna watch you bleed. When you're high, you never ever wanna go down. Suck down, suck down, you know where you are. You in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. Jungle, welcome to the jungle. Watch you bring it down. Jungle, welcome to the jungle. Feel my serpentine. Jungle, welcome to the jungle. Watch you bring it down. Gonna bring it to your knees. Jungle, welcome to the jungle. Watch it bring it. It's gonna bring you down. Ha!
What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the jungle. Welcome back to another episode of what I call these days the Micromotor Meetup. We can hang out with me, geek out about microquad related topics. So again, another day to have some fun with my live stream equipment and to talk to you guys about what's coming up next, what I'm currently working on. So, as usual, if you want to join me in the conversation, you can do that either using the two chat rooms, the Discord chat room, the YouTube chat room, or you can join me on the Zoom video conference. So let me find the right button to put that onto the screen. Where did it go? Here. Breaking news, join the conversation. Oops, that's kind of in the way with, let's move this up a little bit here. Or maybe remove the background. How do I do this? Gradient color. Can't remove that. Gradient width. Doesn't do it either. Oh, here. Can reduce that. How about that? All right, so you can either come to Discord, link was just on the screen, or to Zoom or to zoom.us, and then put that number in there, and you can join me in a live video conference. If you're watching the stream live on YouTube, then please drop me a comment in either one of the chat rooms, because currently I'm seeing all sorts of error messages on the screen. The output destination has performance issues. The encoder has dropped 1935 frames and lots of other weird error messages. But at the same time, I'm seeing that it's streaming at a steady 4.63 megabit per second. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, drop me a line. Let's get talking. And while I wait for you guys to settle in, I'll set up my scenes here again to be able to put up the chat rooms onto the live stream as well. First one in here, PK Stefan, hanging out whenever I'm turning up live. Welcome back, buddy. Thanks for leaving a comment there. So take this as the reason to put the YouTube chat up first. So need to repopulate the source. Discord, no, not Discord. Chat, sunset. Where does it end up? So need to add a new browser source. Web browser capture. And change that to YouTube popped out chat. Then change that to YouTube chat. And there we go. Now I get it. Just press the live button and here we go. Is that big enough for you guys to read? Turn my monitor on. Off. And Nick Burns made a live stream. Other way around. This needs to go below the camera like that. Yeah, buddy. Nick Burns made it. Welcome, my friend. And what's your name again? Gengar lead or something. Can hear me loud and clear. That's good. Welcome to you too. Maybe I'll make this a little bigger. How about that? Too large, I guess. Just like that, so I can see the bottom of it. So as usual, you can also, this is the Facebook chat, so you can just join wherever you are, from whatever device you are, right on YouTube, or you can come over to my Discord server. Main advantage here being that that's a persistent chat across sessions, so you can keep chatting if you want to after the chat, and you can just scroll back and see whatever we've been chatting during the live streams. So Discord, put it up here, put it up here. Where did it go? There's so many sources. But this one is not amongst it. So add a new source. No, just drag this over here. And if I turn it live now, it'll cover the screen, so I need to reduce it first. Crop the... No, what's happening? So live, putting it over top of it would look like that. That's not good enough. So I need to say custom, then drag it a little bit and reduce the size. There we go. Now we don't need to see the whole window, just need to see the middle part of it. So crop the left here, crop the right, and then crop the bottom and crop some off the top. And now resize a little bit. Foamy Ninja says, I'm almost back in, one quick reboot later. I assume that's from the last session. So let's have a look if the last piece to the puzzle is running as well. My Zoom session is running, I believe. No one's in there yet, is it? Yep, here we go. So yep, that's running as well. So if you want to join me just anytime during the show, hit up that zoom.us link, which is currently on the screen, 9944022734. So back to YouTube we go. Nick Burns, tell me something, Nick. Tell me something new. And if you want to chat, join the Zoom session, my friend. Ghafoor Hussein is back as well. I hope you like all the whole box of bee brains I've sent to you. I think some of them are still working, so I usually sort them pretty well in my drawers of non-working, maybe working, and working. So last time I picked the wrong one for you, so I hope I made up for this, Ghafoor, by sending you a whole stuff of flight controllers that have been on my list to work on, but I haven't gotten to it for quite a while, so I felt these had to move on. So put this one over here, can see it all the time, and then drag the Discord chat to this side of the screen as well. Ghafoor loved it, that's good. So over the past couple of weeks, including the last, let's say, 10, 15 weeks, where I've made an extra effort to revive the live stream and continue and evolve my efforts to spread the knowledge to build little microquads and the related FPV tech. Yeah, I kind of figured out that putting that together is maybe not the right idea, because you guys who are watching this are just kind of the hardcore group of here my followers and friends that I've accumulated over the time, and you're not necessarily those that need to learn all that stuff anymore, because you already did. Otherwise, yeah, you'd probably not be hanging out here. So that's why I want to change the focus of the live stream a little more to um, make that more an interactive endeavor that's really just talking about the stuff that you guys are bringing up, and at the same time create other avenues that provide a little more structured content and allow those of you who are not here yet, who are new to the party in the future, to catch up as quickly as possible and get their knowledge up to speed. So while I was talking, I heard the ding dong of the Zoom session. So let's see if someone's here already. Make this a little larger and find the Manage Participants button, because I think per default participants are muted. Damn, how do I get back into here? I click this button, click Manage Participants, and then Kinantos has joined me. I'll just, I'll be brave and hit the admit button. I have no moderators or additional hosts at that point that are supporting me, as in running a waiting room that would be able to screen people. Not necessarily that I don't trust you. The traffic is still that low that I don't expect anyone to come up here and uh, be an idiot in the show, but many times if people turn up fresh to this, hit the button, yeah, join the Zoom meeting, then it usually takes a little bit of time to set up their camera and microphone and headset, whatever, to groom them for their experience, for their appearance on national niche TV. So how do I bring up the Zoom meeting onto the screen? I'll do this in a sec. Let me just check if Kenantos is able to and willing to speak. I press the unmute button now. So that should bring you up onto my Zoom meeting. I'll have a check in a second if the audience can hear you as well. I've already unmuted your microphone, but I can't not hear you. So I see $1.99 in the super chat. I read about it. I've never used it. I never promoted it, but I assume someone just put $1.99 into my YouTube account. However that works, thank you very much. Kevin Caslow has chipped in $2 in the show. That, I think that's the first, not even $2, the first $1.99 that this live stream ever earned. Thanks a lot, buddy. Let me put you up on screen here by removing Discord chat. Kevin Caslow. Thanks a lot, dude. Let's get the super chat going. So if you want to contribute to the show, oops, sorry for keying the cam, do what Kevin does. Chuck a couple of bucks in the super chat. So, yeah, I trust you. I even trusted Kenantos, who maybe that's Kevin. Starts kind of with the same two letters. So if you can talk, Kenantos, you're allowed to. And if you're still watching, if you're still on the fence, hit me up in the Zoom conference. Don't be shy. Otherwise, if you don't talk to me, if you don't make any suggestions what we should talk about, then I'll just keep going. I've put a clock up there to remind me and remind you. 12 o'clock. It's lunchtime here, so I'll be gone by then. Well, I tend to say this and then still go over the time, but yeah, 2019, I've put rules and discipline big up on my list of resolutions, so I'm trying to stick a lot closer to the times that I'm scheduling this year. It's not working out 100% yet, but I'm getting better. So one of the tools I'm recently playing with is Teachable. I showed you a little bit of that 2 weeks ago. Sorry for missing last week's live stream. I hope you guys missed me. So Teachable is a learn management system, and I've been talking over the past couple of weeks and months with many people involved in educating kids in primary and high school age, and I'm putting together a course, a curriculum that's usable at first in public schools, but also to anyone else who wants to learn about FPV in general and micro FPV in specific. And you can have a look at it. Quite a bit of that is online, and parts of that are public already at fpvacademy.teachable.com. So I'll show you that in a second once I figured out which button to press. Allocating the browser source, micro FPV at the FPV Academy, and then bringing up the 3D browser. Is it that? Yep, that's it. So how do I go back to this view? Just like that. So fpvacademy.teachable.com. I will chuck that into the chat as well in case you have difficulties typing that in. Copy and paste. And as you can see, it already looks good on the outside. Here you can see a quick related bio of mine. Click enroll in the course, and then down here is the class curriculum, which damn, that looks terrible with the green screen. I should make myself disappear. Boom. So all these preview ones are free to view for the public. So you can click on those. You get a video of me talking in front of a virtual chalkboard in the jungle, a little transcript, and then a quiz and some related stuff you can purchase if you do not have the gear yet that we're talking about. There'll be lots of content, so basically broken down all the content that we've been talking about in the last couple of months, or well, in general over the years on this channel in this community, and trying to make as easy as understand quick videos, usually not longer than a minute or two, and charts and guides to suit the various topics. So, for example, one thing that I spent quite a bit of time teaching myself is generating info charts like that. It's been a while for me to find the right tools to do that. Just in case you're interested, I'm using Doodly with a Y, to create my chalkboards, and then I'm using Mimo Live to record a video and join that together with Final Cut, and then I'm using InDesign to create graphics like this one here. It's not that hard once you have the right templates. So all these background graphics here, I don't make them. I just use a set of templates so that they all look um, kind of in style. So the reason why I'm showing you that is I'm looking for test candidates. So if you want to work with me on this one, oops, wrong button. Oh, I disclosed my green screen. Here we go, back in the jungle again. So if you want to work with me on that, if you want to be a test student, if you have um, if you are a teacher yourself and want to take this content to teach your kids, then yeah, please come along, join me, and I'm happy to hook you up with a free teachable account to see the content that I've already created, give me some feedback, and then work out a plan how we can use that to teach the next generation. So I hope that's what Gafur wants to talk about. I see him popping up here in the Zoom session. So um, I'm hitting admit, and that should have popped up a message on your screen, Gafur, and you should be able to join me via audio. Currently can't see that you've a microphone connected, so got to do some work on that. Um, so he says in the chat room that let's talk about how 2S whoops are not as interesting as 1S whoops. Yeah, there is, I think, some truth to that, even though I've spent a lot of time on the weekend, which is already over in Australia, flying 1S and 2S whoops. So I'm happy to talk about that, Gafur, when you um, appear in the session with a microphone as well. I currently see that you're working on it. So I'm not sure if I have to press the unmute button or if you can. I'll just do it for you. Pressing the unmute button. So if you are talking Gafur, should come up in my session. I'm checking if you are, how do I do this? Press the Zoom session and then it's not bringing it up. I need to change the preferences of the Zoom session. Zoom preferences and output needs to go to multi-out, I believe. So that should get the audio into the right pipe. Let me check. Multi-out puts it into the Plantronics headset and into the I show you audio capture device, which I have then audio 3 picked up in my More Live. Let me check. Audio is picking up the I show you audio capture source. Just needs to be put live. And now if one of my until now silent Zoom session inhabitants says something, should come up in the live stream as well. So Ken Antos has joined the Zoom session as well. Says no working mic at that point. Well, to join that session, you need at least to have a microphone. I'm happy to welcome you with just a microphone. Would of course be even better if you have a camera as well. But oh well, microphone is good enough to speak. If not, you can just stick around in the chat room and post messages over there. So I cannot see anyone posting something in the YouTube and in the Discord live stream chat room. Maybe no one's there today. So Um, Carrefour is lost. Yeah, it's not the first time that people are having issues getting their act together the first time on Zoom. Um, and in general, yeah, it's pretty slow these days. So last time I very spontaneously announced the live stream. I have promised bettering myself on that front. So this stream has been already scheduled a week ago. I hope that somewhat helped you guys to see that the stream is coming up and get yourself ready if you want to hang out with me. But yeah, I'm with Gafoor. Where's everyone? Let me have a quick look. I mean, attendance was never massive on this channel, on this frequency, but yeah, we never expected that either. So let me have a look on the watch page, live control room. 10 people watching. So yeah, that's sort of half the usual size, and then there will be another 50 to 100 people who um, take that hour out of their life to watch the recorded stream. So if you're watching live, go to one of the chat rooms, drop me a message. Otherwise, I'll be talking about my second favorite topic that I'm currently working on with my buddies Dave and Terence from fpvracing.org and from the Drone Racing World, which is putting up some simulator races for you using RotorRush. So as I've showed you a couple of weeks ago, RotorRush works really well. It's a really nice simulator that feels very similar to flying in an actual whoop. There's lots of other tracks and lots of other copters in there as well that I was told behave after you've tuned them pretty realistic as well. I'm mainly interested in flying entry-level quads, aka ducted brushed quads, and have a simulator that is as close to the real experience as possible so we can teach new pilots some motor skills, some hand-eye coordination, some muscle memory that's actually really relevant to the craft that they are building and are going to be flying for the first quad. So that's why I'm really happy that we have a very realistic and also quite well working simulator that, as far as I've seen, works really well on a variety of graphics hardware because it's running on the Unreal Engine. And apparently you can quite easily design scenes in Google SketchUp and then import them into the Unreal Engine and thus into RotorRush. So I'm pretty excited when we get some momentum on that front that we can acquire quite a few developer geeks who are not so much interested into flying in the real world, maybe because they have no interest in coming up with all that technology outside of their digital world. But if it's some online racing and the ability to express themselves by designing a new world, maybe we get a different spin on the story this way. So PK Stefan says he posted that in a Discord lounge. How about 2S chargers? Lots of options on 1S chargers, but not so many on 2S. That's exactly right. That's what I was thinking on the weekend as well, while pumping pack after pack through these two little quads here. So, where's this other battery? Grab this one here. So, what I'm flying these days is this almost stock Beta 65S The only change that I made is putting 1220 gem fan props on this thing just to see if it makes it fly any different, because on the bench I see around 10% improvement of the gem fan props over the regular Iching, Horizon, and Clone props. And yeah, I think in the real world as well, it feels just um, a little floatier on these props. The main giveaway that immediately lets me notice that performance improves is when at hover throttle it just climbs a little bit. As I've shown you guys many times before, and whenever I post about it on Reddit or something, people start hating me. But yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm using uh, a centering throttle stick, and in the last versions that Jumper made of this radio, they actually included a little spring bridge assembly type of thing to convert your stick into centering on all axes, so you don't even need to buy an extra gimbal and take that apart. So one of the advantages of that is that you have a very defined mid position, which you can use to compare different propellers. Just stick a different propeller on there, leave everything else the same, let the throttle go back to the midpoint where you've configured it before to hover as precisely as possible. I mean, you never get it to hover exactly. It always will just slightly climb or dive. But yeah, if you notice a significant difference after changing something, like for example changing the battery or changing in this case the props, that's a good indicator that an objective indicator that performance has increased. And the other quad that I've been flying on the weekend and in general last week a lot is this Beta 75 Pro 2. Published a little line of sight flying video. If you want to see that, click in the channel history. I think it's the last video that's been published. And also here stuck the same propellers on there. Well, they're pretty hard to see on the green screen because they are letting the light through, so they seem green to the camera. Same flat top profile of the props. I like that. And slightly transparent, which I like as well. Secondary because it looks cool, but primarily because transparent plastic makes it harder for the manufacturer to hide overheating the plastic in the molding process. So if you have the choice, always buy white, light, or transparent plastic. The chance that it's not brittle by being overheated during the molding process is higher. And yes, these props also have a slight improvement in performance over the 40mm standard props that Beta FPV makes for a while. So yeah, these are going to be the go-to props on all my 40mm or 75mm quads, however you want to put it as well. Also works really nice on the Inductrix FPV Plus. This thing doesn't really need more power for my purposes, so really nice, very powerful little quad, which I can fly through almost as little gaps as its little sibling here. However, I noticed when I crash into something and lose orientation, the the distance it traveled on average before I regain control is quite a bit bigger. So the chances that if I clip a branch or make a mistake, the chances to recover and not having to walk in into the jungle and get on a rescue mission, the chances for that are a lot higher with the little quad. So I'm gonna fly a lot more careful, a lot bigger loops with this one, not to start a walk. And then the other main thing that makes it easier to fly this little quad here is the batteries. So just runs on 1S batteries, very easy to charge, a lot of them, whilst this one here is flying on 2S. Put an XT30 on there so I can use these batteries. It actually came with the ridiculous put two 1S batteries together plug on there. So, but since I had these 350 milliamp, sorry for being mirrored, 350 milliamp batteries that fit exactly into this battery compartment. I think it was made for those originally. I've just soldered a very short XT30 pigtail to it, and yeah, flies just great. So much power, so much control, and yeah, very nice to fly. There's one issue though with it. That's why I've been only flying it, mostly flying in line of sight. The camera VTX has some sort of an issue, really terrible reception, and yeah, that's why I was flying in mainly line of sight. That's why also the last video was line of sight. As some of you know, I enjoy flying line of sight quite a bit. Even when a lot of other people in my circle started to put FPV gear onto the quad back, in the 2015s and 16s, I believe that was it 2015 Christmas that I got my first FPV gear. I was quite late to the party because I actually enjoy and still enjoy flying line of sight a lot. So Gengar Limited says, have you spent any time with the Beta 85X HD yet? No, I didn't get one yet. So I will order some more Beta FPV parts to Australia shortly. So I will remind them to chuck one in of those. I have seen some videos of it from my buddy Hash Brown flying it and destroying the pod already. And I've seen a couple other videos floating around on YouTube. And yeah, it looks pretty impressive. So I definitely want one. I'm keen to see how that exactly pans out because I assume that they mean, there's two versions of the 85X. So yeah, come on, let's get onto the browser and speculate a little bit about it. So if some of you have already experience with this, chuck it into the comments. I'm keen to get one. So where's the browser? Browser. Where did it go? Oh, here. So out of the way, and then take the chat out of the way. So Beta 85X whoop quadcopter, it says. So which button is the cam again? Number 3. So capturing the high definition flight footage on a hoop drone. That was impossible in the past, but now the impossible has become possible. Cinewhoop is undoubtedly the hot topic at the moment. Check out here to see pilot's innovation on the Beta 75X cinematic whoop. Yeah, I always love myself some Chinese description. They're trying hard, they're getting better. It's still often kind of funny. So we see slightly different pictures here. So this is the HD DVR version and that the FPV version. So the question that I had, which I guess is answered by the antenna on the HD DVR version, is that FPVing and recording? So I can only see one camera in there. Oftentimes, if you only have one camera, and that's for recording and for FPVing, then the FPV stream is laggy. I doubt that Twitter FPV did that mistake. They put even a nice little clover leaf on there. 85x means 85 millimeters motor-to-motor distance. That means they can put large enough props on there to have no problem carrying the extra weight, even though it still makes sense to minimize weight. So I've seen a nice video of Hash flying it, and he didn't complain about it. So I assume this setup here is all nice and working. Beta 85X and the DJI Mavic Pro in one video. Oh wow, look at that. Running on 4S. So apparently I heard you can run it on 2S to 4S. So Dragon here says in the chat, yes, FPV and recording. So yeah, that's cool. That's what I need. I don't need any more power or larger quad than the 75X for backyard indoor flying. By the way, it still really flies very nice indoor, the 75X, very controllable. But I think with additional camera gear on there, it makes sense to have a little more power, also to keep that more stable. The heavier the quad is, the more stable the camera is going to be, and since we have no additional stabilization on there, I think it makes sense to go for HD recording a little larger. Yep, so have no experience yet with it, but I'm keen to check it out. So back to the topic though, which was charging. I totally agree with you. Who was it who posted that? PK Stefan, that charging is the main issue when you get larger than 1S. So said this many times, but just to pick it up again. Where's the browser going back? And oops, the camera coming up. So 1S charging, super simple, using this HTRC X4 microcharger. By the way, if you are looking for one of these chargers on a budget, you can go to my website and you could find a slightly different version of this charger here. They sent it to me by accident. We're sourcing these chargers from the same company that High-Tech RC gets made their X4 micro multi-charger, and this is the advanced version that High-Tech even didn't bother to put in their shop, which has these little switches here. You can switch from 4.2 to 4.35 volts. However, on the last charge, they've sent me the previous version of that, basically the blue version of the High-Tech X4 micro that I've been using for many, many years. Only difference to this one is that it doesn't have the high voltage switch. And yeah, medium drama with them. They didn't want to take them back, and it costs a lot of shipping and customs, etc. when you ship stuff back to China. So if you want to check one out at a bargain, go to Micromotor Warehouse, put in charger there, and dig out the 4.2 volt one, which is let me have a look. Is it published already? Just put it up this morning, scheduled a message that's going to be sent in a couple of days. But if you guys watching the stream want to have first dips on those, then please come along. So this one here we go, putting it into the chat room and then quickly checking out what discount code I have assigned to that. So the usual retail price is $45, giving them away just above my purchase price to cover a couple of costs. You can get them at $30 a pop by using the discount code. Oh, I haven't created it yet. That's good. Need to. Well, it's good that I'm checking right now. Otherwise, people receiving the email would be mad at me. So the discount code I promised to have active by then is called edit content voltage 4.2. So gotta set up this. So voltage 4.2 gets you 30% off specific products, which is the charger 4.2 volt option. Where is it? This one here. At everyone, limit to 1 use per customer. No, you can have more if you want. So discount codes voltage 4.2, then you can get one of these little chargers here. Damn, too many sources. Where is it here? Okay, so yeah, very nice little charger. I would be using it if I didn't have the successor of it. This one here, I have a few of those to charge as many batteries as I need at the same time to then keep flying as long as I want, because if I have 8 of them on charge all the time, then that's good enough to keep flying all day long. As opposed to charging 2S batteries, which I was thinking about on the weekend to make a multi-charging board for XT30s. I don't have one yet, so I currently only have one XT30 cable yet I ran out of the non-battery size XT30 connectors, because I never needed so many of them. Sold a few to a couple different models, made up one lead for my charger, and that's it. Now I have to wait for more so I can charge more of them at the same time. So I was also thinking maybe I can make up a connector that allows me to connect this thing to that charger and charge the 2 cells separately. Not sure if that's a good idea. I think the better plan is to make up 4 of these connectors and then use my Tenergy X4 Quattro, whatever it's called, to charge 4 of these packs at the same time. Still, that leaves me with quite a lot of charging work, connecting, disconnecting, before I get as much flight time as I get with the little ones, because the flight time is pretty much the same. The flight time I get out of a no, in this case 7mm whoop with single cell batteries is pretty much the same like I get out of the 75 Pro 2 with 350 milliamp 2S. So Johnson Ibas has just appeared in the chat saying, hello everyone. Yeah, Johnson, you are right on time for the tail end of the show. So yeah, quite low participation again. I had a few people turn up in the Zoom meeting, but you guys have let me down and didn't say anything. I mean, you're hanging in there, Kenantos and Gafur. I appreciate that. So I take that as a sign of goodwill already, but you got to say something. So I see some chat now. I only realized this right now in the Zoom group chat going on. So yeah, guys, only the participants in the Zoom chat can see that, and I didn't even look at that. So as long as we are streaming this publicly, it kind of makes more sense to post that in one of the public channels. So have a look if someone posted something in the Discord. No, has not. That's good. One of the other things that now we're getting towards the end of the stream I wanted to talk about is YouTube kind of recently seems to be on a crazy mission of demonetizing and banning lots of channels for stuff that they actually don't do wrong. So for example, I've recently read on Reddit that some dude was had his channel banned for repetitive content, and he was a piano instructor. So yeah, of course, it's kind of repetitive what he's doing. You know, that's that's what piano training is about. So, and then I forgot his name, but some famous YouTuber who had like 10 million subscribers or something, and obviously was depending on his AdSense income for, you know, his living costs. I would believe. He got demonetized because he has used some content of someone else who actually he collaborated with, and then some algorithm or a company in between kind of threw sticks in his gears and messed with him by dobbing him in at YouTube and claiming copyright on that 3 seconds or whatever he used in his video. And I recently got in touch with the YouTube authorities or algorithms as well on all of my last live streams where I had music running that I own the rights to, but YouTube obviously doesn't know that, and every time after this live stream has been processed and published, I get dinged for a copyright violation, and the video is demonetized, which I don't care so much about it. You know, if I'm getting the 0.03 cents that this YouTube video make on average on my account or not, I don't care, YouTube. But what I care about is that every time this video is being published, I have to click through all these dispute claim forms and whatever, and getting lots of messages in regards to it. And I think the last one you guys didn't even bother to process, so it's still hanging in there. So yeah, kind of really rubs me the wrong way. even though I'm paying for a couple of royalty-free music services, you guys still just kick out your stick every time again and again. So that's why I'm gonna play the same song at the end of the video just to see what happens. One of my all-time favorites, recorded live in 1988. Welcome to the Jungle by Axl Rose. So yeah, reading at the same time what's been happening here in the chat room. So Max Pax, welcome buddy, says, I think I will go for the XD30 on the 2S brushless. Whoops. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I also think that we actually need something like an XT10. Really? I don't think so, to be honest. I think XD30 is just fine. It's not much extra weight. Although, yes, it can be a little less plastic, but yeah, I think XT30 is just fine. So Johnson Ibas says he liked the video on the 502E, which is the Hubson quad. Yeah, for some reason that got a lot of views. I think it's one of my top videos, which I don't know how that happened, why so many people are watching that. They should have banned me, says Johnson, because you're almost a band by myself. You must have a rap, Indiana. I don't know what you're talking about, Johnson. So coming to the end of the videos, my friends. So I'll leave you with some nice tunes from the jungle. Let's remove the breaking news here. And yeah, let's get headbanging, my friends. Welcome to the jungle.
Hey guys.
You know where you are? You in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. That's a true story. That ain't no lie. So welcome to the jungle, Rick. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. Running with it all the day. We got the people that can find whatever you may need. If you want some money, honey, we got your disease in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Watch us bring it down. I wanna watch you bleed.